But we know that there are so many unreported cases. And that is why the focus for this year is on advocacy for the imperative for designated courts for SGBV, because we have found that the numbers for prosecution are low compared to the number of reports. And so if we're able to have higher prosecution rates, then we believe that we can, cause a shift in behavioral change for, that would cause some form of deterrence, around these issues of sexual and gender-based violence that's happening around the world, and particularly also in Nigeria for us. SGBV are manifold. The drivers of SGBV issues, they are manifold and they are structural, in the sense that you have different cases and different issues that cause people to perpetrate this kind of violence on both men, women, and children. And as such, we know that designating courts may not be the only solution, but it is part of the solution. We know that, for instance, in order to help survivors of SGBV, the British Council, the European Union, and the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program have supported the establishment of the sexual assault referral centers to open to options and open the means where survivors can find some kind of redress and remedy, for this kind of whenever they experience this kind of violations. But we know that that is not enough, and that is why we believe that designated courts will help the process. It will help the process in making it accelerating justice for the survivor. We know that yes, court cases take long, litigation takes time, but we believe that when you have a court that's designated to deal with these issues, we will have effective and fast delivery of justice, which we believe that if we're able to demonstrate to the public that there's a punishment for crimes that are committed around SGBV, it will help in reducing these crimes that are committed in public. Gender-based violence has a cost on governance. It costs a lot because women and also children form over half of the percentage of the population of Nigeria. Oftentimes we feel that there's no cost to SGBV, but we know that there's a cost of governance on account of sexual and gender-based violence. If you look at reports over time, you see that a lot of women are unable to participate fully in governance. You see that also affects even budgeting for, that also has implications for women and children. And so you cannot expect that when we have a low percentage of our budget that is allocated to, fund SGB, to fund women issues and also prevent SGBV, and you don't think that there will be a cost. There's always a cost. It's just that a lot of times it is a cost that is often not seen or not heard. We all have women in our families. We all have children in our families. We even have men now who even suffer from gender-based violence. And so the cost is not only to women, but also to the general population. And the cost of governance, you will find that generally women issues are, often have the lowest percentage of budgets. You find that, hospitals are lacking in, issues that, that in funding that support or promote women's rights. You find that a lot of challenges are, occurring on account of lack of proper funding that can, enhance women's ability to even perform at an optimal level. And as such, if you link that up with even the SDGs, you know that there's a major development goal that's associated to promotion of women's rights and human rights too. And as such, the question of the cost of governance cannot even be underestimated. And that is why for us in ROLAC, we feel that ROLAC has established 32 sexual assault referral centers in the country, but that is not even enough. The numbers are marginal compared to even what we have. These are numbers that we have accurately be reported and verified, but we know that there are so many unreported cases. And that is why the focus for this year is on advocacy for the imperative for designated courts for SGBV, because we have found that the numbers for prosecution are low compared to the number of reports. And so if we're able to have higher prosecution rates, then we believe that we can, cause a shift in behavioral change for, that would cause some form of deterrence, around these issues of sexual and gender-based violence that's happening around the world, and particularly also in Nigeria for us. So the challenge now is, why is the law not effective? We are asking questions around what are the reasons why we are not having, more prosecution. I mean, more success rates around prosecution of issues around SGBV. Why are we not having more prosecution rates around these offenses? We want to look at the legal system and through the mock courts, see what are the technicalities that often make these cases to be thrown out of court. And so we now prepare the public. Peradventure you experience any form of SGBV or you come across it, the first thing you do is to preserve the evidence, so that you are able to go through the process and are able to have successful prosecution of the perpetrator at the end of the day. That is why we are calling on the imperative for designated courts. We have successful examples in Lagos and in Nasarawa State, and we have seen the numbers of successful prosecution rise on account of those designation of those courts. So we believe that if the federal government can also do that at a federal level, we believe that it will also improve the number of prosecutions that we have currently.